I was thinking about this affordability thing, and I'll tell you, my thoughts are a little sloppy. They're not cohesive. I don't have the big, easy takeaway for the audience. I really don't on affordability and broken systems and corruption and all these things. But I kept coming back to you, man, and what I knew you and I would talk about, and we have in the past. And that one thought I had was where I thought about you. Let's say I'm right, that it's 70% your choices, it's 70%, what you control in your own life, but there's 30% that's broken and the deck is stacked against you. But what if I'm wrong and it's flipped the other way? I'd still focus on the 30 that I control, and not because I'm you. I don't wake up at 4:30, man, because I feel better that way. I literally feel better, maybe deluding myself even, that I'm in control of my circumstances. And so I just want to get your thoughts on that. If you want to talk about affordability or everything that's going on in relationship to the things you know and care about, I see the overlap, Jocko.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you. And, this brings me back to the mentality in combat, mentality in combat, you're going out, you're taking your Humvees down a road in Iraq. And, when you go out, there's a chance that you can get blown up by a roadside bomb. Like that can happen. And there's some parts of that it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter what steps you take, there's still a chance that can happen. And if you focus on this chance that might happen, I think I would have gone crazy over there. So instead, what I focused on is, okay, what can we do? What intel can we gather? What preventive measures can we put in place? What reactive drills can we rehearse so that we're as ready as we possibly can? And yes, this is the theme of extreme ownership. I'm going to take ownership of what I can actually control. And I would also tell you this, generally speaking, we can control a lot more in our lives than what people think. And I don't very easily abandon the agency of what's going on in my world. And, when I think about affordability of housing, when I live in San Diego, I think San Diego might actually be more expensive than New York. It's really expensive out here. When I was a young Navy guy, I lived in my house with my wife and 4 kids. It was a 934 square foot house. And why did I do that? This was in a time when you could get, these loans that had no documentation. You could basically borrow as much money as you wanted. But I tried to try and borrow money that I could actually afford to pay back. And it put me in a really tiny house, and that's where I lived. And when you walk through the front door of my house, on the right-hand side was a couch and a TV. On the left-hand side of the main room that you walked into was the bed where my wife and I slept. That was our bedroom. And then we had 2 kids in one room and 2 kids in the other room. And so that's what we did. And, over time, you save money and you build equity and you are able to expand on the house and eventually hopefully buy a new house. But I think the idea that, you're going to just automatically get the house of your dreams, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And
do you think,
the only way, instead of concentrating
do you
on
think there's an entitlement crisis?
I don't know. I talk to people all the time. I don't just spend my time on social media, and I go out and talk with normal people and by the way, I have kids that are 25, 22, 24 and 16 years old. So I've got kids that are in this bracket, and they are all working hard, trying to make things happen, trying to put things together. They don't complain to me about what they can and cannot afford. They're out there trying to make things happen. So, I don't see much of that. I don't see much of it with my own eyes. I think when you go on social media, you can definitely see some of that. But I think if you go out and interact with normal people and even young people today, I don't see a lot of it with my own eyes.
Well, you're the last guy somebody's going to come to with their entitlement problems. I mean, that's like going to a priest. Well, I guess people do go to a priest and tell them about the lust that they're dealing with, but I don't think anybody's confiding in you because they're not going to find a very willing listener on, man, I really wish I could vacation in the Amalfi Coast like all the people I follow on Instagram.
It's funny you keep bringing up the Amalfi Coast. I don't even know what the Amalfi Coast is, so that's where I'm at.
Well, Well, you'd had no reason to ever invade it, Jocko. I mean, it's beautiful I've never been, but it's like the quintessential vacation spot on Instagram. It's on the Italian coast. It's beautiful with buildings falling down, not literally falling, like cascading down into the sea, yachts off in the water. I don't even know. I assume it's expensive. The combat thing, that's interesting because of course, there are things outside of your control. Perhaps even bad leadership, bad intel, bad plans put in place that are beyond your control. And of course, just like in life, bad effing luck. Like there's a lot that can go in, but, and you could be effed from the outset of your mission. I'm sure there are missions that are doomed to fail from their inception. I'm sure that happens. And yet, you got to control what you can control, or you're not able to even going out and doing your job, period.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I never went on any operations that I thought were going to be doomed from the start. If we thought that there was going to be that much resistance or that many problems, then I would say no. And I had good enough relationships with the people I worked for that if I said no, they said, yeah, if Jocko's saying no to this thing, then we probably shouldn't do it. So I always had that good relationship. That doesn't really happen. But yes, every mission that you go on and everything that you do in life, there's going to be risks and you're never going to get exactly what you want. Bad luck is going to happen. You know, in the military, the term Murphy's Law is a real thing and it will absolutely happen. And if you focus on the things that went wrong and the focus on the things that are out of your control and focus on the system that you can't even interact with, what you're wasting your energy. So don't waste your energy. Buckle down, control what you can control.